Welcome to Learn to Code HTML Part 0. We won't begin any actual programming until Part 1. Today we're just going to talk about the basics and fundamentals of what we'll be using to code HTML. So HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language, is a language used most common to code web pages. Nearly every website you visit is programmed in HTML. So I use a Mac here. You can follow along the same tutorial on Windows. It doesn't make a big difference. So to get started, you just have to make a file, or a folder. Name this folder HTML. This here is where we're going to save all of our files for this tutorial. It's empty, there's nothing in it. That's okay. And now the application I use to code HTML is called Brackets. It's free to use, you can get it on Mac or Windows. The link's in the description if you want to download it and follow along. You don't need it. In fact, you don't need any application like this to download to code HTML. You could just use TextEdit or Notepad++ for Mac and Windows respectively, but I find using an application like Brackets does help. And to get started, we're just going to open folder, go to your desktop, and you're going to find your HTML file right here. Just press open, so now you're in this project. So first step, you have to make an actual HTML file that we can code into. So we're going to right click, new file, and you can name this whatever you want. I'm going to go with front page. The important part is .html. When you add .html, you're telling your computer that this is a HTML style file and it's going to run it like a web page. So in here, we're just going to make a quick website so I can show you how to launch one. So here we have this text that says exclamation mark doc type HTML. All HTML files have to start with this line of code right here. Now, don't worry about the next part. I'm just going to make a brief piece of code so we can run it in our web browser. So you can see here we have this little brief piece of code. Basically, we're just making a website that displays this text here. This is a web page. Now, to run an HTML file, you need a web browser. I'm using Google Chrome. You can use really anything you want. Safari, Firefox, doesn't matter. Now to run this, you have to locate your HTML file. You can do this two ways. First of all, you can just go here, show in Finder. Once you click in your file, show in Finder, now we have the page here. Alternatively, just go to your file we made on your desktop and open it up. The page should be right here. So assuming you have Chrome as your default web browser, just click it, you're going to open it up. Now we have the web page we wrote. Just says this is a web page, that's it. And so this is how we're going to be testing and coding our web pages during this tutorial. So it's worth saying, during this series I'll show you HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and so these are the three languages we use to code web pages. You don't have to worry about what any of those mean right now. We're going to take it slow and we're going to start with HTML in the next tutorial. So that pretty much concludes part 0 of learning HTML. I'll see you soon in part 1 where we can actually start programming. See you then.